This is an ergonomic keyboard, one of many different types. The one here is the Alice or Arisu layout. I used it for 30 days and it's because I asked myself 3 questions 30 days ago and I was searching for the answers throughout the month. Here are those findings. The first question is, what is an Alice or Arisu layout? Basically, the Alice layout is a sort of split keyboard where it's still in one whole body, but the keys here are split into 2 different clusters. Alice's are in a 60% form factor. If you add arrow keys, then it becomes an Arisu. This keyboard is the Akko Alice Plus, but I'm going to be referring to this keyboard as a modified Arisu since it has the arrow keys and some keys on the far right. It's a little confusing since the name of this keyboard in particular is the Alice Plus, but it's an Arisu. They aren't supposed to be interchangeable, so it's a little weird that Akko decided to make it a layout that it clearly isn't. The thing about this layout that I didn't realize at first is that it's very wide since the keyboard is basically broken into 2 parts. It's ever so slightly bigger than a TKL. The reasons that people go with this layout vary from finding it more ergonomic and comfortable to finding it more aesthetically pleasing compared to other layouts such as 40s and orthos. But if some people find it more ergonomic and comfortable to use for long periods of time, how do I feel about this layout? Because, you know, everyone's different. We all have different size arms and hands and shoulder widths. You get the point. This leads me to the next question. Do I like the layout? Not just that, do I find it more comfortable, more ergonomic? Would I recommend that people try this layout? Before I talk about my typing experience with this keyboard, I want to preface everything I'm about to say by saying I don't type properly. It's kind of weird, all things considered. I'm a keyboard creator who can't type properly. So take what I'm about to say with a fat grain of salt. This video also shouldn't be used as evidence towards or against the ergonomics of an Alice, as this is my own experience with the layout. Basically, I have horrible typing habits, and this keyboard very clearly points them out. For example, I press the Y and B keys with the incorrect hand, and while this keyboard accommodates 2 B keys since it's pretty common amongst keyboard users, the Y is more of an isolated problem, and I initially found myself constantly hitting the gap between the 2 clusters of keys. Nowadays, I don't have the issue anymore, and I find myself consistently hitting the Y key with the correct hand even when switched back to another keyboard. That's one less of my many typing problems. Baby steps. I like this keyboard being wider helped me separate my shoulders more. After the month was over and I was typing on regular keyboards again, I felt that my hands were much closer than I remember, and I feel my shoulders being brought closer as a result. I've got a pretty small frame, but the fact that I can notice that probably says a lot about the ergonomics of a regular keyboard as opposed to one like this. So I guess I do find this layout to be more comfortable overall. Would I recommend it to people? It very much depends. It sounds weird, but you do have to try it to find out if you like it. Hopefully you have good typing posture where you angle your arms slightly inwards. If you don't, that's probably the first action I'd recommend you take. If you already have good typing posture, I'd say try it out. I find my shoulders to open up more, but that's just me. Your mileage might and probably will vary. If you're watching this video looking to improve your desk ergonomics, you also might want to consider other options at your desk, like using a wrist rest or a sit-stand desk to improve your ergonomics. Alright, so the third and final question. Do I like this keyboard? This is basically the vessel of the whole video. All my thoughts and opinions of the Arisu layout have been based off of my experience with this board. Akko did send this to me to use, but I wasn't paid to make this video, and all thoughts and opinions are my own. This won't be a full review, but here are some things I like and dislike about this board in particular. I like how you get so much stuff when you buy this board. It costs $130, which is an absolute steal for the amount of stuff you get. Pre-cut tape mod, Rama style switch puller, extra gaskets, 2 types actually, spare daughter board, the rest of the blue and white keycap set which retails for $60. Mind you, that's almost half the cost of buying this board itself. The list of inclusions go on and on. They're very generous with the amount of stuff you get. I like that there's a good amount of flex in the board due to the polycarbonate plate and the fact that it's gasket mounted, and the flex only increases once you switch to the gasket socks. I like that it's hot swap with 5-pin support, but I don't like that it's got north facing sockets. I like that all the stuff you get with this keyboard encourages you to open it up and mod it. I like that there's a stainless steel weight, which is very fun and colorful. It adds a lot of character to this board, even if it's only on the bottom. I'm not a huge fan of the spray paint finish. It's very DIY style, which some people may like, but small nicks and scuffs in the retail board seem pretty off to me. The sound profile here is very muted because there's a lot of foam in this board. I prefer my keyboards to have a little bit more character with the sound signature, so that's what I did. lube stabs, green jacket linears, change to gasket stocks instead of jackets, tape mod, and some new keycaps. Recently got my hands on cherry taro, so I put those on this board. There won't be any interference here due to the green jackets having a super long pole. Full review in the top right if you're interested. And to finish off the mods, I've got a matching cable for this build. The rum raisin cord cable from one of my affiliates, Cable Mod. This video isn't sponsored by them though. Overall, my answer to question 3 is yes. I like this keyboard and I will continue to use it in rotation with my other boards. Here's a quick sound test of the board stock and after I modded it. After answering all 3 of these questions, I'm pretty satisfied with my experience with the Arisu layout. I am curious to try the other ergonomics like ergodocs, orthos, and so on, so I may or may not do one of these in the future for a different layout. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to be using and reviewing regular boards, but trying a completely different layout outside of, oh, it has arrow keys, oh, it's a 75%. Actually trying to get a layout that was noticeably different outside of just physical form factor was actually really fun. It reminded me that this channel was started around my journey with keyboards, and I guess this is one of the many chapters in that journey. I'll leave links to everything in the description. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel as these videos take a lot of time and effort to produce. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.